think the stream is live. Oh, there it is. All right, as usual, give it a few minutes for people to show up. Richie Spaceman on Twitch. We have Warp Tom and Doomcorth here with us. Azure, Lunella, a Draft Chimp, Yusuf, a Wall, and streamer mode is hiding some names, I guess. I gotta deactivate that. Alright, there we go. So whoever's watching on Twitch, you're gonna have to tell me how the volume mixing is, because I have a new microphone and a new operating system as of the last time we did this, which also means I had to reconfigure OBS, which means that audio levels may be different. Azure says, Derpy sounds different. In fact, he may not be the real Derpy. Richie says, volume sounds good on Twitch. Okay. Ziproot asks, Navy campaign when? It's delayed another month because of that. Half-Life 3 when? Soon. Trust. Alright, well, hello everyone, and welcome to our 28th Developer Campfire Chat. For those who are unaware, we do this once a month, the first Saturday of every month, and it is just a place for people to show up in the Discord server, join the voice chat, to listen to us, but not to speak, because we don't trust you guys. But you can type in the Twitch chat or the Discord chat, or submit questions on the Google form that we have, and we will answer them. I don't really have any news off the top of my head to talk about beforehand. Last time we did this, we had just had a release. It's been a month since then now. Nothing's exploded, so that's good. I've had a busy week, and I woke up from a nap and hopped on the desktop for this, so I didn't really prepare much. Azure says, talk about your plans for the Avgi campaign. My plan is to play through it. When? I don't know. Do it right now? No, I will not. Too busy. Started this early, half hour earlier than usual because I have to be somewhere at 3 my time, which is usually right when we end. If not, we usually go over. So, wanted to still have the usual hour-ish length. Short Boy in the Soup says, 28th, question mark? Dang, it really has been a long year, huh? In reference to... I'm not really sure how those two things follow. Yeah, 28th, as in we've been doing this for over 2 years. We have somebody in the wrong chat. Go to Campfire chat room, not stream chat on Discord. Any updates on a potential ship capture mechanic rework? The update is that I still need to finish the branch that I was working on for that. That's still... It's not abandoned, it's just there's other stuff that is taking priority right now. Alright, well, I guess we can just jump straight into the questions that were submitted. And I will note ahead of time, so some of these are repeats from last time. Some of these are repeats within today's questions, so I don't know if the same person submitted the same question on 2 different days, or if it was multiple people asking the same question. Some of these you're probably not going to get a good answer for, but we'll try. So, first question. What do you think was the most useful feature that has been completed by someone other than MZ? Most useful feature has been committed by someone other than MZ. Huh. How about everything I've done? No. I think that I would definitely say that Peter's conditions overhaul slash rework slash whatever you want to call it, refactor, has been one of the most impactful thing that's happened in the history of the game, really, because conditions used to be a lot more restrictive in terms of how we could work with them, and now that he's refactored how conditions are read, we now have a lot more auto conditions, which are just the conditions that go and look at something in your save file and return the result of that, instead of us having to actually store everything we want to read directly into the save file under the conditions section. Warp says, I'd say the existence of an integrated front-end web interface and hosting for Git repositories has been very useful. I don't think that really counts. Doom says, I can't think of any features. Azure says Web3 integration. Also don't think that counts. How about anyone else? Anyone can answer this in chat here. What's your favorite feature over the past... how many years now has it been since MZ stops contributing? Since 2018. So what's your favorite feature since 2018? If you've been around that long. If you haven't been around that long, your favorite feature that was added since you started. Malevolent says mining, question mark. Are you sure? Is that you asking me? Or is that your favorite? The question was most useful, not favorite. We'll expand it a little to make it interesting. Scarl says this game is a pretty great feature. Okay. Warp says, didn't MZ add mining? You're right, actually. That was a bad option. Because, yes, MZ added mining. Tactical scan? I think that might have also been MZ. Doom Chorus says, being able to gift ships. There we go. That's definitely one that he didn't do. Richie says a bigger universe to explore. That's also a good one. Malevolent says jumping. Incorrect again. A wall says mug. Okay. Okay. Good feature. All right, I think this question was losing steam very quickly. Next, I remember people used to think that doing the karate move locked you out of the free worlds a while back. I did a get blame and found that this has never been the case. Where do you think this rumor started and why? Well, probably started because the first 1 or 2 times you get the option to do the karate move, it causes the mission to be declined. The third time you can do it and it will not matter. But because the mission gets declined, people just see, oh, mission declined, therefore I can't do anything else. Even though it is the case that you can actually get a second mission to offer after that, that lets you still continue the Free Worlds campaign. Yeah, Warp says, I expect it started from people not being aware that it doesn't actually lock you out. I mean, that kind of is a little circular there. Doom says, well, doing the karate move just for fun at the end is harmless, but doing it before that may, I think, cause you to fail that particular mission. There is, I believe, a follow-up that lets you continue, lets you into the campaign after doing that, but it's not obvious that the alternative route exists. Yes. I also think that, at least for me, that's not one that, like, I've been super hard on telling people, like, hey, that's not actually the case. I think usually I say, like, hey, the third karate move doesn't actually care. It doesn't actually matter for that mission. Warp says, well, what is the question looking for? It spread because people didn't know the truth. Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? There's been similar things like this, though, where, like, for example, to get the Bactrian unlocked, for a while, I know there was, I'm not going to name and shame here, but there was one guy who kept going around on Steam complaining, like, why do I have to do There Might Be Riots to unlock the Bactrian? This is so convoluted. Why do I have to do There Might Be Riots? And I kept telling this guy over and over and over again, you don't have to do There Might Be Riots. It is not required for unlocking the Bactrian. But he just kept saying it. And I'm like, dude, I've told you like 10 times it's not required. It was never required. Not even when it was in development was it required. Yeah, Azure posts the how it feels to spread misinformation. That's basically what it is sometimes. Azure says the alternative route was added in the Free Worlds rework. That is incorrect. The alternative route has been there since the beginning. It might have made it more obvious at various points, but it's always been there. Malevolent says it's an alternative. What? Yeah, it's just explore, man. A Draft Chimp says, why was the Destroyer removed from Endless Sky? It was never added. The Destroyer has never been a ship in the game. It was. Don't lie. I'm not. Hector says Endless Sky is finally big enough to have its own Mandela effects. Yeah. I see Kyle the Pokemon 101 in Twitch chat. Hello. Stuffy says, pretty sure they were talking about choosing to believe the Syndicate defector or fighting the Republic. In terms of an ending to the campaign as an alternative. The question from the submission box is definitely about the start of the campaign. All right. Moving on, we have a few rapid-fire questions here that are... What is your favorite... Insert something here. So, what is your favorite missile launcher? Doom says javelins. I don't enjoy long-range combat. Malevolent says swarm pods. Those are fun. Techman says, I don't missiles. Hector says, I'm biased for saying the swarm pods are fun. Jintex says, media because I don't enjoy winning combat. Okay. Doom says, swarm pods my favorite to watch, but I don't actually want to use them. I am personally a fan of the Thunderhead. I think it's pretty cool. Stuffy says, you know, I've never used missiles because it costs money to resupply them. It's not a lot of money. Dude, people are out here making like 100 ship fleets and they're like, oh, I don't want to use secondary weapons because it costs money. It's like, dude, you have trillions of dollars. You have trillions of credits. It's not going to break the bank to use secondary weapons. That would mean selling the ships to get money. It's a small price to pay for how cool some of these secondary weapons are, alright? Some of these missile launchers. Up next, what is your favorite human ship? Favorite human ship? Is everyone going to say Bactrian? I say Aerie. I am a fan of the Aerie. The little light carrier that could. Kyle says, did my question already get answered from the submission box? When did you submit it? What we've answered so far is, what do you think was the most useful feature that's been committed by someone other than MZ? Why did people think that doing the karate move locks you out of the campaign? And then what's your favorite missile launcher and what's your favorite human ship? We only just started, like 15 minutes ago. So, probably has not been answered yet. Warpcore says his favorite is the Raven, Manta, and Splinter, all at once. Doomcore says Osprey. Kakubs says Falcon. Jintex says Shuttle. Azure says Shield Beetle. Not sure that counts as a human ship. Azure says the Peregrine is a human ship. This is correct on a technicality. Zipper says Science Drone. That's a deep pool. Blackbird. Bulk Freighter. What's the point of the container transport? I don't know. Star Barge. Container transport is because of drama. I am not kidding. Practically, yeah. All right, next question. What is your favorite alien species? You're not allowed to say an alien species that you pull requested. So Becca is not allowed to answer with the Kahet or Builders. Doom says Wanderers. Malevolent says Avgi. For the sole reason they broke engines. Okay. Techman says the robot hive mind ones. I can't remember their name. Some favorite, that is, if you can't even remember their name. The Moretti. Skrull says the Remnant. I found them first, and I love the idea of people that just sing. Richie says the Pug because they're enigmatic. Numi says the Korth. They have very interesting lore. Jintech says Gegno because their ships make the funny sounds. Okay. Becca said Kahet and Azure said Avgi. I don't think you are following the instructions correctly. Azure has changed his answer to say he is a Quarg enjoyer. If Araki were here, he would technically be allowed to say Coalition because he didn't add them to the game. he just added up on top of them. Kyle says the High. All right. I would say mine are also the High. I'm a big Squirrel fan. All right, up next, a question that has been asked before many times, and it's also a duplicate. What is the total population of the Bunradio? Not sure. Frankly, I forget what all the population numbers for all the alien species are. They have some pretty highly populated worlds, but they're also smaller in territory. Probably at least as much as the High. If you want a lower bound, there you go. At least as much as the High. Was Endless Sky always intended to be a primarily story-focused game, or is that a decision that was made over time? Well, if you aren't aware, whoever asked this question, Endless Sky is based off of the Escape Velocity series of games from the late 90s, early 2000s from Ambrosia Software. And that game had a fair amount of story to it, to my understanding, now that I've ever actually... I've played a bit of Escape Velocity Nova, but never all of its content. This is hard to say what MZ originally intended, but the original release that we can see definitely was pretty story-focused, yes. Suffy says never played Escape Velocity. There are ways to get it these days. A draft chip says MZ planned for 4 storylines in the 1.00,00 release. Not sure what that release would be. But I would say that the game's always had a story focus to it. And I mean, like, if not for the story, what else would you be doing, you know? Somebody posted a YouTube video a while back where it was somebody who's reviewing the game. And, you know, you gotta read the comments, you know? And somebody was like, I don't get the point of this game. You just fly around and make money. The story is right there, bro. Somebody said that, and he responded, if I wanted to read a story, I would read a book. It's like, okay, so this game just isn't for you then. If I wanted to read a story, I would read a book. Okay, dude. Not to say that the only purpose of the game is the story, but there's certainly a lot you're missing out on if you're not enjoying the story of the game. Legendary M says, I'd expect actually having a Republic, Syndicate, Free Worlds, and either Pirate, Merchant, or something else story for the Human Civil War to be a good time to make 1.0. The original goal was just Republic, Syndicate, Free Worlds. Over the years, we have had people talking about, like, oh, what if we had a Merchant campaign? What if we had a Pirate campaign? What if we had a Deep campaign? Those could potentially happen if somebody actually works on them and it has a good enough idea of how to slot that into the story. But the original goal was just the main three factions in the storyline: Republic, Syndicate, Free Worlds. And I would say right now that is still the goal. If we get the Republic and Syndicate campaigns done, then I would say that's good enough for me at least to say, okay, let's just start calling it 1.0. Polaria says, I feel like the current campaigns need work on before we keep tacking on new ones. Which ones would you be referring to, though? Which campaigns? I know that the Wanderer campaign has been incomplete for years, and that is definitely something we want to do. High Reveal probably we should take care of, but outside of that, all of the other Alien campaigns are storylines that individual people are working on. And they don't tie at all into the human campaigns. So, I don't really see a need for us to resolve various Alien campaigns before we get to the human stuff. Doomcore says, I wonder if anyone's working on more Wanderer content. Yeah, me too. Oh, hey. Spambot on Twitch. Get banned. Lamau. A Draft Chimp says, also Free Worlds was made within a month. I don't think it was quite a month, but it was definitely a short period of time. It was not several years, I'll tell you that. And I mean, I've mentioned that before, where like the Free Worlds campaign did not take a super long amount of time for MZ to put together. And I mean, frankly, it was a pretty good campaign. I have gone through in the past and touched up some of the missions, particularly early on, and I did actually want to do some more around updating some of the Free World stuff and adjusting some of the storyline to make a bit more sense in places. But for a first go around, it was pretty good. And I have said before that I feel like the delay in getting another campaign added is not... It's more so we need somebody to just sit down and write something. Part of it, too, is also the aspect of we've been waiting for a campaign for so long that there is a pressure for the campaign to be really good right off the rip. So there's definitely a variety of factors that lead to the reason why we haven't had another campaign in forever. Hector says, Galaxy Brain Insight. In order to get a new campaign, we need someone to sit down and write one. I mean, yeah. But when I say that, though, what I mean is it's not as much effort as some people expect it might be. Simply given the fact that MZ was able to put something out in a few months. Whereas everything else has felt like multiple years of, let's work on a storyline, let's put some missions together, and let's scrap it, and let's work on another storyline. And I think the largest part of it, though, is just the fact that there's so much other stuff in the game to work on at any given moment. I mean, like, for the longest time, we had over 100 pull requests to review. So, like, I've kind of made my main goal with Endless Sky just working with pull requests. Like, I do my own stuff here and there. Somebody asked, and I'm sure it's a question in the submission box high reveal when that's being dealt with. That's kind of on my plate right now. But insofar as I primarily focus on reviewing content that others work on and actually getting it into the game, my focus can't really be on something like spending 2 to 3 months to work on a whole campaign on my own and spending all my free time doing that, because then you have that many months of me not reviewing pull quests. Meet potential man. 0 feats, 0 relevance. 7 kamikaze attempts. What? Zipper says, MZ was able to build free worlds in a cave with a box of scraps. Legendary M says, I imagine MZ already had an outline for the free worlds when he started making the game. That's fair. He probably had a rough idea of what he wanted to do already. Sagia says, I remembered my password on Twitch. W? Hector says, has anybody tried making a syndicate campaign in a cave with a box of scraps? I think I spent like a week on it. Maybe 2. I don't know. Then I did something else. Alright, moving on. Because we're already a half hour in. And I actually want to wrap up in another half hour. And we're actually...
Oh, you guys starting at weird times. What the hell?
I announced it yesterday, dude. Anyway, next question. What is the Bunradia population? Refer to the last time I answered this 2 questions ago. Next, other than Endless Sky, what is your favorite space trading and combat game? I don't play any other space trading and combat games. It's only Endless Sky. Doom Chorus says, Sid Meier's Pirates, the Earth, and therefore, by extension, the Caribbean, is in space, as it counts as a space game, or so it counts as a space game. And it certainly features trading and exploration. Okay. Arca Nexus asks, are the images on the Twitch stream from the game planets, or is it just random images? It is me doing a slideshow of all of the landscape images in the game. Kyle says, how about Free Spacer? Never played it. Stellaris, Terra Invictus, Treasure Planet, Battle at Procyon. Never heard of that one. Why are all space games so focused on combat? I don't know. The only other game that I can recall off of the top of my head that I've played that would fall into trading and exploration for space games would probably be EVE Online. I have not played that in forever, though. I think I bought a subscription for a summer once back in high school, and I played for 3 months, and then my subscription ran out, and I didn't buy a new one. Or didn't make my parents buy me a new one at the time. And then I saw they went free to play, and I played a bit after that. But then I realized, oh wait, if you're free to play, you're capped on how much progress you can make. Guess I'm not playing. Azure says Delta V Rings of Saturn is very fun. Stuffy says Eve is an abyss. Yes, it is. You should try it. No, I'm not going to try Delta V Rings of Saturn. I'm going to only play Endless Sky. That's it. Alright, next. Why is it Pug Magic and Quarg Handwavium and not Pug Handwavium and Quarg Magic? It just fits that way. Hector says, I tried Eve and played for a few months. Then I used a skill calculator. how long it would take to max out my current skill tree, and the calculator said it would take 2 years of real time. I noped out immediately. Not going down that path. Yeah. Yeah. And that's just for one skill tree, mind you. Hector says it's because the Quarg are more techy and the Pug are more magic-y. And Sock says that's my problem with games nowadays. Instead of being a whimsical kid having fun, I quantify leveling, XP, and progression. So when I see months and years are just basis for most games, yeah. Joke's on you, EVE Online is like 25 years old. Let me check. So it's not even like a new game problem. EVE Online.
I bet if I started the game 25 years ago, I wouldn't be finished with it yet.
Oh, they're constantly adding stuff. 2003.
Yeah.
So.
All I remember is the one thing that happened, and a whole bunch of people lost grand's worth of in-game ships, and yep.
Yeah, it's fun for the history videos, the history of EVE Online.
Yeah.
But when I played, I think I never left high-sec space. I got ganked a few times in, is it Jeddah? Is that the trade capital? Trading hub that everyone goes to? Yes. Okay.
And they're saying yes, this sounds
EVE Online completion time, 3,333 hours. What do you consider even complete in that game? Like, the whole goal is just to continue expanding.
upset some popular guild. That's the goal.
Yeah, Hector says this genuinely seems low. All right.
Did you get a new mic, by the way?
Huh? Yeah.
You got a new mic? Yeah, it's a lot like crisper.
Yeah, I was saying that at the start, and I think I said it in one of the dev chats while you were away. My headset had a section of it where the piece that connects both muffs, there was a 90-degree angle where it went from very thick plastic to very thin plastic. And just over the past year or two of taking it off and putting it back on, the stress in that part of it just caused it to snap. And that's the probably third or fourth headset I've gone through in life. So I was like, you know what, I'm kind of sick of headsets because they break so easy. So I asked my brother, for suggestions for an actual like desktop mic, and I have it on a mic arm, so it's like hanging over top of me. The fancy setup now. All right, well, moving on. Actual question jump scare. I wonder who this is from. Given the hypothetical that there is an endless sky to Lua/Python/C++/whatever program, would you support changing the current syntax to a scripting language? I'm not sure what this question means. Given this hypothetical, would you do this other thing? Warp says no. Azure says rewrite it into Rust. I will say, as far as the current syntax goes, the point of it is to be simplistic and easy to understand and to get into. In some respects, it kind of already is a scripting language of its own, so I'm not sure what the implication would be of turning it into a scripting language. Doom says the current syntax is straightforward and easy to use, and we certainly won't ever abandon it, as doing so would break every single plugin, correct? This question goes on, though. Barring that, would you support adding functions, conditionals, and loops? We already have conditionals. They're called branches. We already have loops. They're called go-tos. What sort of functions, conditionals, and loops are you trying to do would be the question. Because this goes on. It says, this makes plugins dramatically more extensible. In what ways? The question goes on. I would recommend discussion with Tom about this. since we just had a long conversation about scripting languages, think about this ahead of the Campfire chat. I did, and this was my thought. Like, what? I feel like people just say, like, oh, scripting language. Just make it a scripting language. It would make everything so much better. It's like, okay, but what are you trying to do that you can't right now? That's really the question that should be getting asked. Zipper says conditional payments. I think you've brought this up before. I do want to add some form of conditional payments that would not require us to completely change how the syntax of the game works. It really is just a matter of extending a payment node to accept either a single number, which is what it does right now, or a few numbers that it uses for jump calculations, or you just give it like a string instead of an integer, and that is the condition it's supposed to read. I don't actually think it would be that difficult to add, and it's just, it doesn't exist just because I haven't done it yet, or somebody else hasn't done it yet. Legendary M says, I do support getting Lua in, just don't let it break current plugin scripts. Yeah, if we did add any sort of Lua or Python, whatever support, it would be something that's an alternative to plugins or something that could tie into plugins. But yeah, as Warpcore says, I don't even know what Lua support means. You gotta be, like, again, it's a very hand-wavy, like, oh, just add Lua support to the game and it'll make things so much better. What does that mean? What are you trying to do? Warp says, and if I recall, the last time I asked someone asking for it, they couldn't give me a useful answer. Yeah. The next question is a follow-up to the previous one. How do you feel about adding a DLL whitelist? Essentially, it's like the closed shared library pull request, but only whitelist hashes are supported for security reasons. Then how would you feel about whitelisting a shared library that adds Lua support without networking/file system access and possibly a multiplayer plugin? I don't know the technical details of this. I don't know what that would entail. I cannot give you an answer. Azure says, the more plugins it breaks, the funnier it would be. Doom says, we're not doing the Minecraft thing with every new update requiring every mod to be made again each time just to keep it working. That's bloody awful. Yeah. I don't understand that. So apparently Mojang in the past was considering making a official mod launcher, and they decided against it because their thought process was, well, the community has already put together so many great mod launchers. Why would we put progress into something like that? But at the same time, they break every mod, every update. So it's like, do you want... I feel like you're not really supporting modding. You just saw that, oh, your community figured it out on their own, so just let them continue to figure it out while you continue to break it for them every time, just because they figure it out every time. Azure says the modding API went away because they wanted people to switch to Bedrock and buy add-ons. It's a common Microsoft L. I can believe that, too. Cypriot says Microsoft at this point probably just wants Java Edition to disappear and only have Bedrock Edition. Yeah. Meanwhile, Bedrock is still like a buggy mess. Azure says, nah, they keep Java Edition around because most YouTubers use it and it brings in new players. Why does anybody even play Bedrock? Okay, anybody here, why do you play Bedrock if you play Bedrock? Arc and Nexus is Java better? Yeah. It's like, there's literally no reason to play Bedrock. Oh, I want RTS. You can get shaders. Peekaboo says console. Okay. But at that point, it's because you don't have an option. I'm saying, like, primarily desktop. For people who play on desktop, when you're given the choice between Bedrock and Java, why would you ever choose Bedrock? Warp says, when I used to play Minecraft, the way I added mods was merge the mod file with the Minecraft jar file, which seems like it was essentially applying a patch to the Minecraft bytecode. So if they make an almost any change to the affected bytecode, the changes no longer work. Malevolent says I have Bedrock because that's the only one on mobile and it's cheaper. I'm pretty sure on desktop, if you buy one, you get the other. Also, to people saying, wait, why would I install Sodium when it would break PC? What? What do you mean might break your PC? I've never had an issue with Sodium. Are sure it's just they're selling them separately now? I had to buy a new account a few years ago, and I got both. I didn't have to like check like, oh, am I buying the right version? All right, well, moving on. The questions are expanding, and I'm realizing that we don't have too much time left. Why are the Veremids, I forget how to pronounce this, unclassified minor, what carries them? I don't know. I think it's just because they're small. Is it true that Derpy won't release the Bunrodia census files because he's in them? Many people are saying this. No comment. In which chapter of the Avgi campaign will the Truth Nuke be developed? The final chapter. Oops, wrong account. That's not a question. What are the plans for ship folders? Is Endless Sky still an EV clone? In parentheses, MZ's stated reason for not doing ship folders, or has this position changed? I don't know what a ship folder is. What? I'm not a player aware of any plans for ship folders, says Warpcore. We have ships in ES, but what about ships? Italicized. Sagia says it's because, for the question about the Veremids, it's because they were originally fighters, so they got classified as unclassified minor when that tag was created. Yeah.
I think it's Vermiid.
Vermiid, whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
But as for ship folders, whoever asked this, explain more. Organized ships and folders. I mean, is it milestoned? It's not closed, at least. So yeah, maybe. Kyle asked, whatever happened to the Star Wars plugin that I see on the community page? I think it just stopped getting updated. All right, next question. Has the Wanderers, I'm guessing this means Wanderer campaign, has the Wanderer campaign been looked at after the mastery balance in the Quark rework? Not particularly extensively.
I had plans to play test through the Wanderer content. Now that I'm kind of hopping around in the sky again, I want to go through that after I've been playing through free worlds earlier this year. And I want to spend a lot of time playing through that and balancing things.
There's your answer. If you had to pick one alien species from Endless Sky to exist in real life, which one would you choose? Instantly multiple people saying humans. Hi, Pug. Shiragi. The alien race. Alien X. The Quarg. The Sauriid Centaurs. Korath. Real answer is probably the High. Okay. I'm just saying if the Avgi existed, they would give us a really big nuke.
I kind of want to say Archons.
Okay, dude, some of these questions, I'm just skipping some of these. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? There you go, I said it. Will it be possible to add a planet or station that can be obtained by the player to use as a base? I mean, it's possible now in plugins.
Yeah, but no.
Well, you make the two competing Republic campaigns fight it out in a primary. That'd be funny. Let me speak. Okay. What's your favorite species? That was already answered. When are you removing High Reveal? Soon. What's the status of High Reveal, Wanderers, and Coalition and New Aliens?
What's the status of the game?
These have all been answered. Yeah, what's the status of everything? These have all been answered. Why is like 90% of pull requests just more code optimizations? Where are the story pull requests? They're there. There's a few story pull requests open right now. Iraqi opened one a few days ago. Sog has a couple open. Ben
Yeah,
has one
playing
open,
against
and he's working on another one that I believe is that coming soon? Another part of Patir. It sounded like it from some of the messages I was reading. Many are saying this. So yeah, it's just a matter of people got to write them. But if you're looking at just how many open pull requests there are, and how many of those are code versus how many of those are content, I feel like content stuff generally gets merged quicker unless it's massive. Hence
You
why
also got to
there's a lot of
think.
code stuff sitting around.
You also got to think that a lot of the content stuff gets written before it's PR'd too. So, well, I mean, same with code, but like a lot of content, like review and stuff, actually happens before it's even a PR.
All right.
So there's things that work.
Yeah. Up next, would you consider adding a button to make your ship start acting like it was an escort and firing and moving on its own? Maybe you need a complete side quest to get an autopilot function.
Mm,
I don't know
I don't
why
know
you
about
would do that.
autopilot. Probably
Hector
not.
says if you don't want to play the game, don't play the game. You don't need a button to make the game play itself.
Yeah.
Doom says probably not. I mean, in some respects, you can kind of already do this, and by already do this, I mean you just sit your flagship far away from the battle and let your escorts deal with it. Doom says you could just look at other people play the game on YouTube if you really wanted to. All right, next, stop dodging the question. We need a single number. Bunradia population number, question mark. I gave you a
6
lower
will be
bound. That's
7.
what you're getting out of me today. Upper bound, 1 trillion. Lower bound, high. Zipper says if you want to watch the game, then watch Warp's streams, and Warp says I approve of this message. All right. Next, would the Moretti ever be willing to sell a big fleet with you for like some mission, or send a big fleet with you for like some mission that you need, considering that you were the one who delivered the AI system which turned them good? If you give them a bunch of jump drives, they will send a huge escort with you for a period of time. So, this question is basically, when are we adding escort missions where you hire the escorts? Yeah. Doomcore says the Moretti will continue to appear in the Wander campaign, but you won't be able to hire them as mercenaries. Yeah. Polaria says this is a thinly veiled, I want to drag overpowered ships with me. You can any mission that gives you an escort, if it has a jump drive on it already, you can take it with you wherever you want. There are some missions where you have Quark escorts. Have at it. Just fly around with them. You don't have to complete the mission if it doesn't have a deadline. All right. If you had to live anywhere in Endless Sky, where would you live? Hector says host. Uninhabited planet. Paradise. Not a single person I have to deal with. Stuffy Evil says, gosh, I don't remember the human planets in detail. Fake fan. Zipper says, hi home. Warp says, Pugglemug. A Draft Chimp says, on my ship. Lord Nicholas says, Earth. Jin says, over the rainbow. That's a system, not a planet.
He wants to live in space.
I want to dying over the rainbow, dude. S tier bleed out spot. Doomcore says specifically that one snow planet in the Coalition space because I like snow. All right. Next question. Speaking of headsets, will there ever be player equipment / gear in Endless Sky. I don't know what that means. You can buy hand-to-hand weapons. And there are plugins that add like armor and mech suits if you want to. Notably, the fact that you can't stack hand-to-hand weapons kind of makes it so that anything outside of like literal just guns that are better than other guns doesn't make much sense to add. And by stack, I mean like you can't have a laser rifle in one hand and a pulse rifle in the other, and it gives you like +3 attack. It'll just pick the best one per crew member for attack and defense. Next question. I'm an Archon, but I haven't been assigned a place to hang out in the game. Please give me somewhere to be. Maybe I could hang out near my 3 siblings at the Galactic Core. I don't know your name. I can't add you to the game if I don't know your name. Another question asking the exact same thing as 5 other questions in this exact same submission box. Update on the Wanderer campaign, Republic campaign, and Hyreville. Already given. This question is from Azure. When will the Avgi campaign be updated? Ask Azure. Could we at some point see even more map expansion beyond what is already in-game? Fair warning, I do not currently keep up with any roadmap or things of that nature. I mean, the map will be expanded as new factions are added. So, whenever somebody has a new faction and the faction looks good, the map will be expanded by adding that faction.
All right, you guys are done.
Yeah, that's the last question. What is the status of the release of the Free Worlds campaign?
No, they're done.
1.0.
Didn't you still want to make some edits to that?
Yeah, and those will be 2.0. Okay, who's asking more questions?
What?
When will James be added?
Hector, lock the document.
Lock it. No more. We're done. You guys have ruined it. We're never doing a submission form again. Kyle says, "Oh, your question was the if you'll get a planet or a station you can own, you need to find that plugin. Ursa Polaris. The Ursa Polaris plugin is what you're looking for. I will type it in chat for you. If you check the Steam guides, there should be a guide for that plugin. It has not been updated in quite some time, to my knowledge, but it had a lot of content in it, and I am not aware of anything we've done that would break it. So, give it a try. The quick plot summary is that James comes out of retirement to meet up with you to build a station called Ursa Polaris, and you, over the course of the story, stock the station with ships and outfits from across the galaxy, so you can have a one-stop shop for most of your needs for outfitting and buying ships.
I mean, that's prime plugin real estate material. If you guys are making plugins, people really want stuff like that. So I'm surprised I haven't seen a second one that does that yet. I mean, there probably is, but I know Zora has like build your own, I think like mining factory or something.
Zora's 30 plugins do exactly that. So sure.
Yeah, Zora's going ham on it, but yeah.
Jarvis, add another faction to the list. Is that from Tenor? Any other final notes?
Yeah, speed round. Let's go. Nothing in the document though.
Yeah, no.
Whoever
submitted that question, you're not getting it answered. Is the Tangled Shroud also the thing at the top? The top of what?
No.
The galaxy? No. It's at the bottom.
It's its own area.
The amount of dev time spent on Navy campaign trash. I'm not reading that whole thing.
There shouldn't be disappearing
Inbuilt Iron
systems in
Man
the.
mode when? I will start working on an Iron Man mode whenever my game rules panel pull request gets reviewed and merged.
All right, so I'm improving it. I'm not going to merge it.
Or I could just merge it myself.
That's true. Direct commit it.
But yeah, it wouldn't be... I already kind of have an idea of what I would want to change to add an Iron Man mode, but there's just certain things where they would have to be game rules, and I would want to wait on the game rule panel being finished before adding a bunch of more game rules, because I would need to have them support the panel anyway. The actual mechanism of it, though, would be you don't have any previous saves, you can't save snapshots, you just have your current save. When you take off, your save is deleted. So if you exit out of the game while you're in space, or you die while in space, you're done. If you land, then while you're landed, you can save the game and reload that save file. But when you're not landed, you gotta land if you want to leave. If your game crashes, then that's rough. That's really rough. Any other quick questions?
Is that a question for us, Hector? Or to the chat? SirDer. Plugin that we haven't seen yet.
Kyle asked, will there ever be an extended jump range item added? Probably not. Not in
Yeah, that'll
vanilla.
break the map.
Yeah. We might have structures in the game that let you jump further. Because we can edit jump range on a per system basis. So
Oh, we
maybe
already
one
do.
System, yeah. Some systems already restrict it. I don't know if any expand it beyond the default.
There's one in Avgi space.
Okay.
That's a spoiler.
It's total spoiler, dude. Unplayable.
You don't get to know it. It's totally not the star that takes up like the whole screen.
I'll know it when I see it. But yeah, as far as vanilla goes, probably not. Just because it would break things in terms of balance. Continuous build enjoyer, yeah. Anything else? Because if not, it's about time to sign off here. We've been going about an hour now.
Obligatory really question. I do want to work more on Gegno stuff again. I actually re-updated my PRs, and then Gegno stuff will lead to relay stuff. I finally figured out a mission problem that I've been having last time I was working on it. So the PRs I have open right now are actually all set, and then once those are in, I have a lot of Gegno stuff in a branch that I want to keep continuing with.
What is the status of Tier 2? It's merged. It's in the game. Next stop, 50 pull requests open.
I've been doing run out of PRs. I was just reading it here. What happens when we run out of PRs? And this guy ends.
No, then I can finally start working on reveal.
Then you know the bug already a number.
There it is. Once the pull request count hits 0, then I work on high reveal. How about that? There's the trade. You stop opening pull requests. I work on high reveal. Quick close every pull request.
Don't say that. Warp will do that.
No, it's just a joke. No. Wait.
Warp, don't do it.
Rice says we'll release a one-dimensional version of Endless Sky. All right, well.
Skyboard game.
That's everything
All right.
from me. So,
Yeah.
thank you, everyone, for showing up to this month's Campfire Chat. A reminder that we do these the first Saturday of every month. So the next time we do this will be January the 3rd of 2026. Next year. Thank you, everybody, for being here in chat, for submitting questions, for watching the stream. If you showed up late and you want to catch the whole thing, this was streamed on Twitch, so you will be able to see the replay there. And Hector will re-upload the stream to a YouTube channel. And all those links will be there at the end after we close the room here. Hector says, dang, no more Campfire Chats this year. Yeah, you're going to have to wait a whole year.
Oh, get those jokes out of the way.
See you guys in a year.
Oh, it's been a whole year. Oh.
I haven't showered since 2024. You mean 2025? No.
Oh, no.
All right, well.
All right, bye.
Goodbye. See you next time.
See you next year.